Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gills, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee.
You sure? It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee?
I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it.
Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Hey, good look at that. No, still not right. There. Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome. I know it has been a while. It feels like it has been forever to me, but welcome. We are finally back. I have been away, but welcome to my home. Welcome to the office and welcome to the morning grind. I have been, it seems like barely at home over the past few days. Last Wednesday, and a bunch of stuff had just stacked up that I had to do. And I was like, I have got to go and run errands. Otherwise I'm never going to have time to do it. And that was basically true. But then Sunday, like I was gone, I did a red wine blending class on Friday night. Then Saturday was gone all day. Uncharacteristically ended up at a dance club Saturday night downtown and was there for a little while. And then the next morning I was going to try to show up and do some of the morning grind, maybe early or maybe just an abbreviated one, because I was helping to run. I wasn't running. I was helping run, as in administer, a 5K race that was that morning. And I just completely ran out of time. Being out all night and then trying to get there and do the 5K, I just completely ran out of time on Sunday morning. had gone to see Warfare, and then I went to see Warfare again with my brother. My brother wanted to see it. I asked him to go and see it, and he was like, "Oh, I can do it Monday." And so I went to see that on Monday. So I feel like I have been barely at home, and I am looking forward to not not going anywhere for a while. So yes, things have been absolutely crazy over the last few days. But I'm here, and I've been trying to organize some things and get some things done. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the recap of the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons game that I ran for my brothers. I did, and not my brothers, my nephews, their brothers, my brother's children. We did the Ghost of Harrow Hill, which we did look at in prep before this happened. But now I've run it. I can kind of tell you what happened. And I have some thoughts on adventure design because of this one. It's a really interesting idea. And I mean, it was good, but there are definitely things that can be improved. I don't think this one ran quite as smoothly as the Tomb of Dharma did. So we're going to talk about that. But this will probably be the last time that we are going to be doing that for a while, because we've got basically a lot of work to do. Between now and, maybe the next 60 to 90 days, we've got to get ready for the crit, the free RPG convention that's going on. I'm running games there, and so we're going to take a look. We're going to finish up the cultists and what needs to be done there, and then also put in some index card RPG stats for the Tales of Rabavania, which we've got the structure of the document, but we need to put those stats in there. But then also, I have done a lot in what time I have been here at the house. I have been doing a lot of thinking about the relaunch of the Cultist, because we need to do that. And I've tried several different things, but basically I just continue to be stymied by the fact that YouTube won't let me advertise season 1. So I've been really caught up on that. I've been caught up on that for a few months now, trying this way or that way to get around some things, and it's just not working. But it occurred to me, this was like Sunday or something like that. I don't know what today is. Today's Wednesday. So Sunday, or maybe even a Sunday night, it occurred to me that, okay, well, wait a minute. If I am, if I'm having such a hard time with season 1, because the idea was, okay, I want to relaunch season 1. We'll like run that RPG Kickstarter for it. And then then after that, we'll move into season 2 and we'll keep going. But this is just taking so long. It's also time to just go ahead and get this done. I need to put these links to the Discord server. I haven't even had time to put these links to the Discord server. But if you're here and you haven't seen this, this is our comedy web show about modern day Lovecraftian cultists who are just trying to worship Cthulhu in a world full of people who don't understand. So this is the Cultists channel. I've been doing some work on the Cultist channel, because basically what I decided to do then was like, okay, this is taking so long and I can't advertise season 1 because of all the policy violations that YouTube puts on me because of this, for whatever reason. I said, why don't I just go ahead and re-release season 2? Why don't, if it's that much trouble to get season 1 going, why don't I just instead do a really heavy push on returning season 2 onto the channel, and then we'll go from there. So that's my thinking now. And at the moment, that might be working. Maybe the dungeon, season 2 happens to be more Dungeons and Dragons themed, or season 2 has a very strong Dungeons and Dragons element into it. And when it was originally released, a few people saw it, but not very many. So the plan was always to, okay, let's try to relaunch it. I would have loved to have had season 1 relaunch stronger to the season 2, but before season 2. But okay, I mean, I got what I got. So that's where I am. And so I've decided, let's go ahead and pull out season 2, and then let's run the Kickstarter while season 2 is going. Not when it starts, not at the start. Because if we release an episode every week, let's build that, and then let's see what happens. So, and then we'll also get season 2 back out there. And of course, we do have over 7,000 subscribers now. We just crossed the 7,000 subscriber mark on the Cultist channel, which is great. So let me show you what is here. So, the first thing you see is the complete season 1. So if you haven't, if you need to catch up or you haven't seen season 1, you just go to the Cultist channel, and then the first thing here is a playlist that goes all the way across. And, you just hit, playlist, obviously, and it will show you all 10 season 1 episodes. And then I went ahead and re-released season 2 episode 1. Now, ordinarily, I'm going to premiere them on Wednesday nights, I'm thinking. So Wednesday nights was our cultist night. And so I'm thinking about returning to Wednesday as the cultist nights. But what I did is I just turned this one back live. Of all of the ones that had been watched, season 2, episode 1 was watched quite a bit. So it's been watched 9,000 times in their comments and stuff like that. So I just turned that one live rather than trying to re-premiere it like I'm going to do with the other ones, because they just don't have they just never got watched. This one is here. So go down here. We're going to have the season 2 playlist right there, and you can just go through and play. I also released, did some re-edits of the trailers for season 2, because this is where I was like, well, now can I use these for advertising? Because these are pretty good trailers. I recut and re-edited season 1 trailers specifically for advertising, because I was like, I think our season 1 trailer was okay. I mean, it was good for the time. It's okay, but it wasn't great. So I did the re-edits, but that's when I started running afoul of all of YouTube's policies. So I was like, hey, can I just, can I use the trailers that we shot for season 2, which I think are pretty good? And so those 2 of those are out. We had a teaser trailer. We shot a teaser trailer. So this one right here is our teaser trailer. If you go under videos and look at latest, okay, this is the teaser trailer for season 2. And it did, one of the things I'm going to do this afternoon is set up some of the advertising campaigns to try to put this in front of it. I'm going to advertise on a lot of the tabletop role-playing and D&D channels. So you may see it there. I hope you do. Let me know if you do. And then I'm going to let some of the different channels know that that this is going on too. So they've got the teaser trailer right here. And then there is actually a specifically Dungeons and Dragons focused trailer that we shot that I wanted to have specifically. And so we shot, so I went ahead and posted that one live too. There is a second more general trailer. I mean, I got 1 teaser and then 2 trailers. This one's like 28 seconds. This one's a minute. The other one might be a minute and a half. Which is more Cthulhu focused, but this one's Dungeons and Dragons focused. And I'm going to start to promote that one on the different D&D channels as well, just to see what is, see if we can get any kind of traction there. And then, wait, today is Wednesday, right? Yeah. So tonight, I also have these different interviews with the cast. I'm not going to release a show tonight. I'm not going to be ready. One of the episodes tonight. So I believe that starting next week on Wednesday night, we'll release season 2, episode 2 as a premiere. And then I have some recorded material was live stream material with different parts of the cast that I might play after the premiere. I know a lot of people probably didn't see those either, but I still have them, and so they can premiere after the premiere of the show. But tonight I wanted to go ahead and put out one of the behind the scenes, because we did shoot behind the scenes interviews when we did the Cultist season 2, and so tonight we've got the interview with Shay and Acantha, Mallory Ivy, and Rachel Marshall, who play the Witches of Azathoth. I'm going to go ahead and put that out tonight. So I've tried to get some stuff done over the past week, but there is a lot going on, and that's basically the major focus, is to get this season out and see if it can attract a little bit of attention, and enough attention to run our Kickstarter, and then maybe actually be on the way again, and actually being able to go from project to project to project. So we will see. So that's going on. If you haven't seen that, please do check out that channel. Subscribe. I'll put the links in Discord, in the Discord server. Let me make note of that. I've been using index cards to try to keep track of all the stuff going on. So I do need to drop cultist links in Discord. So that will be there for you in the Discord server if you need it. But anyway, so that's what's going on. I'm excited about it. Hopefully I don't run into any problems. I did go ahead and start a little preliminary test to see if it would let me advertise the teaser, and it did. I turned it off because it was just a preliminary test, but just to see, hey, will this even work? So, and it appears to have. So I'm at the moment hopeful. That's what I run off of, hope. You got to run off hope. So I'm hopeful that, well, now, hey, maybe these trailers will actually be acceptable, and the episodes themselves will be acceptable for advertising, and we'll put them on these D&D channels. I was remembering as I was, going back and watching, because it's been a while since I've seen these trailers too, how good they were. Of course, massive jump in quality from season 1 to season 2. So maybe that's just the thing to do. They're really good. They need to be out there. I'm going to try to get them out there in as big a way as possible. We will see. All right, so who all is here? Let's see. Good morning. We got Better with Bacon here, and BGD is here. Good morning, and RPG Exile, and Andrew. Good morning, and John, and Bio. All right. So people are here, even though it had the week hiatus right here. So, all right. Is there anything else? Oh, we need to breathe and sip, don't we? And then we can go ahead and take a look at what we did with Dungeons and Dragons. All right, so I've got water this morning. Water in the Witch's Brew mug. And oh, hey, TSL just came in. So here I got water this morning. But let's breathe. Let's take 2 deep breaths. 2 deep breaths, and then complete exhales, and then take a sip of our favorite beverage. Here we go. And sip. All right. I don't want to crunch ice into the microphone. Okay, so let me bring over the auxiliary camera. And let's talk about this adventure site. Hey, Swords and Stones. Good morning. Good morning. Great to see you. Have I seen you in the chat before? If not, here's to you. Slide this over. Get the auxiliary camera started. Get it turned in the right direction. Why? I don't know why this continues to make this so difficult. There we go. Okay. Good morning, Cthulhu, and the Dungeon Master's Guide. All right, so basically this adventure had them in a haunted house. This one right here. So this adventure, I really like the idea of this adventure. I mean, very classic. You're locked in a haunted house, kind of horrific, kind of environment with a bunch of undead, and you're with a wizard whose spells had gone wrong to try to turn him immortal. So it was a bit forced for getting there. I didn't worry about any type of travel to get there or whatever, and really what they were trying to do. I've been trying to decide what they're going to do next, and this one does have a dungeon as number 3, but I haven't read it yet, so I'm going to have to decide whether I'm going to use this dungeon or not. But I kind of think it would make sense that, hey, they were going out to go to this dungeon to find some kind of magic item, and they get caught in a rainstorm, which is where this comes up. And they see this haunted house basically appears. They've got to get out of the rainstorm, and then they become locked inside. Pretty neat idea, as long as you don't mind. Okay, you can't actually get out. It's just the doors and windows are locked. It tells you that you've got the transparent, the glass is like, force fields or whatever. The idea is it's impossible to get out. So you have to get out here. So they came in. And they started here by seeing this Gunther's ghost. There was a lot in here that seems like you're supposed to do it in a certain order. So I'm thinking about that quite a bit with the different game designs, because there seems like stuff in here that you're supposed to do in a certain order. But if you do them out of order, I mean, you can do them out of order. It makes more sense if you've got them in order. And this one, there is an automatic fail condition. Okay. I mean, there are different ways that you could lose this game directly and become trapped in the house. And I don't think that's necessarily bad, but it does mean, I was thinking about this, like, okay, if you have an automatic fail condition, should it be failed because you just went in the wrong direction? So, I mean, there wasn't any type of major decision by the heroes that would result in an automatic failure condition. Now, you could have, the ghost comes in, the ghost wants you to sacrifice one of your teammates or your party members to him, and you can fail by that by saying, yes, I'll sacrifice one of the party members, in which case they're going to let the other party members go. Everybody else leaves the house, and then you're trapped in that party member is trapped in the house. And there are penalties if you left your party member in there. Okay, so that's if they decide to do that, if they actually decide to do that, then okay, that's something they chose to do, and they get the penalties and such. But in this case, if you're just wandering from room to room and you go into the wrong room, and then you get locked in there because you didn't take the object from someplace else that you didn't go yet, is that really a good failure condition? I don't know. So I did try to kind of help them out with that, and it didn't help that the backstory in this is pretty complicated. And I no longer think it actually leads where you were expecting it to lead. So, okay, so in this front room, they actually looked at the painting first, which caused the ghost to appear. So the ghost appears and basically gives them that ultimatum. They can't harm the ghost, or the ghost, I believe, is a pretty tough foe anyway, and they can't harm the ghost because they don't have magic weapons. That's okay, because there are +1 weapons in here. There's a +1, 2 +1 daggers, and a +1 sword, which we use the cards for. The magic item cards that we were creating. But they swing at this ghost and they can't hit the ghost. But they saw that he had come out of the painting, and so immediately they want to do something to the painting. The secret to defeating the ghost is to destroy the painting. So they actually go and attack the painting, which is a good idea. But that was basically 10 minutes into the start of the adventure. So there wasn't any type of way to, get out of this house just by attacking the ghost painting and then running out of the house in 10 minutes. So, I like that they thought about that, the ghost is not being harmed by our weapons. Let's go ahead and take out his painting. But then, he hits one of them, they fail their saving throw, and then that person goes down. But then whenever the ghost hits you with his phantasmal weapon, he just freezes that character unconscious on the floor and then leaves. And then that person wakes up later. So, and he delivers his threat, give me, one of you and you can go free. And they deny him that. Then in that one, then they found in the desk the journal, which starts to tell them. So this is what was in the journal. This tells you some kind of back history on the ghost. While poking around in the living room, the characters discover an old diary. Reading from it, they learn a great deal. At last, I have discovered the secret of reanimating the dead. Dear Erica is quite displeased by my servants' appearance, but they obey my every wish exactly. Still, I would not wish to return in their mindless state of undeath. I must continue my search for the secret of surviving past death. How bitterly unfair that now that I am old and dying, a fair young creature as Erica should come into my life. But the workings of fate can be reversed. I swear by the blood I've spilt, and I'm close, I know it. I'll set the servants to building me a suitable chamber from which I will continue my studies. There is something I'm missing. It lurks in the mist just beyond my grasp, just beyond that membrane which separates life from death. My preparations are almost complete. I must not let Erica have the least suspicion of what I'm planning. If she knew, I think she would try to flee. So beautiful, so innocent as she is. The chamber is ready now. It will work. It must work. So this kind of tells you that this guy's casting this spell, or trying to cast this spell. Chamber, this is the first hint that there's some kind of chamber you're going to be looking for, and it's something that he's missing, and that Erica suspects him. But actually, the whole thread that kind of ran through here was a bit too complex for them to pick up on, especially when we were listening to the audio. This has the audio CD, and I could tell that, with the audio CD was going and they were listening, that on the whole, they didn't pick up on what was going on. So I had to kind of explain what was going on. to them. So they go through this this room right here. They have the ghost. They get the ultimatum, and then they come out here to this hallway here. And then really this quest is kind of set up for you to go through, this room and then this room. But two of them head over here to this room. And then one of them walks up the stairs. One of them wants to go up the stairs. So he goes over here. So we end up having party separation, and we did have some brotherly angst during this game, and conflict over what was happening in here. So the two of them, the youngest one and the oldest one, which was the elf fighter wizard and the speaking of which, I have not calculated experience points. So as we go through here, I should probably write down some experience points. They're probably level 2 by now. But the oldest one, the youngest one, which is the dwarf and the elf fighter wizard, decide to come in here into the dining room. And there really isn't a whole lot in the dining room other than zombies. So they end up with a fight for the zombies down here. And the middle child sneaks up the stairs here and starts to go this way. So they skip a lot of the context that's down in here. He goes up here and immediately goes into room 10, which is Erica's bedroom. So at least they did hear something about Erica over here, and then he goes up into Erica's bedroom over here. So over here in room 4, that's 4 zombies. And that's 65 each that they take out down there. So there's a fight with the zombies right here. There are 2 of them, and there's 6. No, what did I just say? There are 4 zombies. So that was a fight's going on. They come over to 10. Meanwhile, the middle child, I'm trying to run these at the same time. The middle child comes up into 10, which is Erica's bedroom. The ghost of Gunter. Oh, no. So this did say, as you approach the door, suddenly the air grows freezing cold as a clock somewhere in the house, and a clock somewhere in the house begins to toll. The sweeping down the hall comes the ghostly form of Gunter. Clearly, that's supposed to happen a little bit later in the adventure than that, because I think it's kind of assumed that you're going to be exploring the downstairs first and then go up to the upstairs and then go down into the crypt. But so he had another encounter with Gunter up there at the house, at her bedroom, basically immediately, and gives him a chance to surrender some of his teammates. And actually, for a moment, I thought he was going to surrender himself. That would have been different, but he doesn't do that. He goes into the bedroom that says, "This bedroom once belonged to a lady of taste. The furnishings show a lady's touch. The room seems to have weathered better than the other parts of the house. There's a small writing desk along one wall, a bed, a nightstand beside it. Oh, and on the nightstand is a picture. So the picture on the table is haunted by Erica's spirit. When a hero touches it, it seems to come to life, and the woman in the painting, Erica, begins to move and talk. Her spirit gives the heroes an important clue. When the heroes investigate the picture, play track 53 on the CD. So the ghost of Erica appears in the painting and says, 'They say Gunter's dead, but I don't believe it. I can feel him. He is still with us. I must confess a terrible thing. I stole the silver heart from the hands of his corpse, which lay on the crypt. I know not what it was for, only that it was vital to his dark plan. Oh no, somebody's coming.' So Erica has taken this silver heart, which they are going to have, in order to ultimately defeat Gunter. Because he's got this slot on his crypt downstairs, right? And this silver heart is in it, and she stole it, which prevented his magic from working, which seems to be what you want to do. You don't want this dark spell to work. BGD was talking about the presence of resurrection spells. I haven't mentioned that again, and now I'm generally against it. But like, here's an attempt at trying to put a resurrection spell into this, which I mean is fine. Okay, then it goes terribly. No matter no telling what he actually had to do in order to get it. Um, and it didn't work. And then fastened on the back of the picture is a small key made of brass. This will open the secret door in the cellar. Okay, so I wrote on a card, I said, you find this. And I took one of the cards. I had lots of blank cards with me. And I said, a brass key. And I handed it to the nephew. And he looked at it and he saw what it was. This immediately started to cause angst within the group. We had ended up with some group infighting right there because the boys who were fighting the zombies downstairs were like, wait, what is that? What is that? And he's like, well, I'm not telling you. And I was like, hey, you don't even know that he found anything. You don't have any knowledge of what's going on upstairs. They didn't like that at all. And they didn't like the fact that the middle brother was keeping what he had found to himself. I was like, you guys are fighting zombies downstairs. He went upstairs. He found this key. No, I didn't say found the key. I said he found that, he went upstairs. He found something or, whatever. And you don't have any knowledge of that. But that was still rough. Yes. Mike says, sounds like kids being kids. It definitely was. That was a rough patch of the game. And in fact, they start to come. I forget if I think they started to come back up. And so naturally, these other two boys wanted to come up the stairs and start looking at finding out what's going on with the middle child up here. The zombies did get taken out. I don't think that the middle child came back downstairs. But they got a little bit beaten up by these zombies right here. And the middle child starts to go down here to room 11, which is when things start to get tough. They're only level 1. They only got half a level when they were at the crypt. And so I knew that the potential for this to be kind of rough was there. We talked about this when we ran this. So he went down to 11, which has got these ghouls in it. The servant's room. You can leave and nothing would happen here special. But this one does have one of the magic daggers in it, a dagger +1. So this was once the servants' quarters. Unfortunately, the servants were still there. The dark sorcery worked on them by a Gunter has changed them into bloodthirsty ghouls. So the ghouls are there. There are 2 of them, and he goes in to attack. Now I don't remember exactly what happened at this point, but there were 2 ghouls, and I think that ultimately, and taking care of these ghouls took a while. And still, by far, the thing that I've got to change the most is, again, we had problems with combat just going back and forth when, okay, they can't hit anything. When they really needed to be able to hit something. And also ghouls, too. I didn't increase their Thaco to 15 like we had talked about. I didn't do that. Although, on the other hand, I was thinking about that in relation to these magic items. We talked about thinking about magic items in the context of leveling up, that an important part of increasing your character's abilities is getting magic items. And being that it's so difficult for you to hit, like a 70% miss chance, like with those whatever the bugbears or whatever they were we were talking about. So like getting a dagger +1 or a sword that does +2, that's actually a big deal. I mean, that's a way to level up your character. And I was thinking about that, of course, because in the context of like the Lord of the Rings and kind of the fantasy that I like, collecting and changing out magic items, every few weeks or months, isn't something that is really done in that. But here, it's got to be. Like, why are there all these magic items? It's because, well, giving you bonuses to hit through your items is critical because you're missing so much. So I decided to, I've kind of embraced the kind of you are what you wear role playing for this kind of purposes. And by the way, I was listening to The Hobbit again. I've been listening to The Hobbit while I was cutting grass, and now going on to the Fellowship of the Ring. Andy Serkis's narration. And it did occur to me that, okay, like how much leveling up was going on in The Hobbit. But on the other hand, Bilbo kind of does level up through items. I mean, first of all, the acquisition of Sting, he he doesn't even have a sword in the beginning, right? He might have some kind of knife, and the dwarves have some kind of knives. But the acquisition of the weapons for Gandalf, Thorin, and Bilbo is a big deal. That does really dramatically increase their capabilities. So in some kind of way, they did kind of level up or increase their capabilities through the acquisition of a weapon. And then Bilbo does it again when he finds the ring. And then right at the end, I was about to say that, Mike. And then he goes to the when he's in Erebor, he's gifted with the mithril shirt, which helps him survive. I mean, which, arguably helps him survive the Battle of Five Armies, right? So, okay, so there is some of that, some of the items in there. But then you go to Merp, and like you've got a much more Dungeons and Dragons kind of view on that, because it's not like he's got the ultimate, the mithril at the end. He's got the one ring. He's got the elven sword, Sting. He doesn't swap things out like in Dungeons and Dragons or old school, but nonetheless, that's what I was thinking about when I was thinking about items and things like that. There was a +1 dagger in here, but I forget the exact order of things, because I believe the zombies were taken care of, although they were injured, and the other boys start coming up the stairs. And the ghouls are a pretty nasty fight, especially because they cause paralysis. I mean, they've got 3 attacks, and they cause paralysis on any hit. This just says special attacks paralysis on any hit. I was having them roll a saving throw against that. I mean, surely that's actually the case. If they just caused automatic paralyzation, that would have... Oh, hey, see, later, swords. If they were damaged, then I let them roll a saving throw. And in this intro, there's just saving throw. There's not all different kinds. But see, this does have some more information. I didn't look at this. Okay, this does say a successful hit means the character must make a saving throw or be paralyzed for 1d6 plus 2 rounds. Elves are immune. Well, I forgot about that, because I'm sure the elf got paralyzed. I should have looked over here. I wasn't looking in the actual. This is the actual beginner monster manual. It just says here, paralyzation on any hit. That's organization of information, and it's only supposed to be for d6 plus 2 rounds. Anyway. The ghouls are still tough. And either through damage or by paralyzation, the youngest and the oldest both get dropped in that room. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Robert. Oh, speaking of what Robert just asked, how did combat go, Heath? Well, the thing that we added, aside from the magic items card, the magic item cards were great, but we added in the initiative cards, and I absolutely loved this. So, I mean, generally speaking, one of the big highlights of the game was the initiative cards, and they were simple. Like, okay, there's zombie number 2. I just put an eye on the back of them, and then really simple, put characters on the back. That's all of our heroes right there. But here's zombie. So the initiative cards. I think this is definitely my way of doing initiative now. So this is definitely, I mean, to make things go faster. Now, in order to make things go faster, we've got to have people hit stuff and actually be doing damage and stuff. So that's the next big thing to work on. Maybe we'll get to work on that some, even though we've got the other tasks to work on online. Hopefully, maybe I'll be able to do some streaming other than just Wednesdays and Sundays to work on them. But I just embraced randomness. So I had the initiative card sitting right here. I had a card for any of the bad guys, and I did this by bad guy number 1, number 2. I didn't do it by groups. There were so small. Most of the time, there was such a small number of bad guys anyway that even if I'd done group initiative for the bad guys, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But I can ask them, okay, what are you doing? And I can shuffle up a new initiative order round to round, and then put it down and have a new initiative order in no time. I mean, basically no time. So that's what was happening here. So the ghouls had initiative cards, and then we'd flip them. And then whoever flipped, that person was up. So you could go last and then first in the next round. And that had all the kids looking at the initiative cards. They really wanted to know. And it became where it really mattered quite a bit. Like, am I going to be able to give a health potion to my comrade before I'm struck again, or before the bad guy strikes again, or is this guy going to be hit before I can take a health potion? I'm down to 2 hit points. Is somebody is the bad guy going to be able to attack again? So it really mattered before I can drink the potion. It really mattered, and I know that worked because the boys were like looking at the cards, like, okay, who's next? And they would look at the cards and flip it over. Oh yes, or oh no, whatever. So the initiative cards are awesome. Being that it takes no time to execute at the table, adds the element of chaos and randomness that people are looking at, and I know that I'm often against that, what I'm saying, that but in this case, I think you just embrace it, because I'm always talking about quite a bit about reducing randomness and basing things on character, basing this on character skill. I talk about that quite a bit. The cost of that is that it takes time at the table. And we talked about how I think the 5th edition initiative system is the worst and why. So in this one, since the initiative is basically random anyway, just make it random, use the time of the table for something else, and then have a lot of suspense around the cards. So yes, Better with Bacon says this is the way you're scouting initiative mechanics for Rabavania. I think so. Yes, I think so. I do. So yeah, the initiative cards, why isn't anybody else doing that? I mean, somebody else there's nothing new under the sun. Somebody else has probably thought of that. But I'm going to continue to run with that, and I think it adds. You want some unpredictability to combat, especially if you've got the actual attacks more dependent on player skill. Then when you're able to act in the chaos of combat, adds in a little bit of uncertainty to it, and and better uncertainty than, oh, I missed, because that's always depressing, right? Oh, I missed. Oh, okay, I missed again too. Oh, we all missed. Whatever. Who's next? Will the bad guy attack, or will I attack? So I'm a big fan of that. That was a big success in here, and then also having the descriptions of the magic item cards. Because they didn't have anything identified yet. So anyway, the ghouls chew them up down here, and 2 of the boys are laying either paralyzed or at 0, like their death counter or something like that. So then the middle child again runs out of here when their 2 are down. And down through here, and he goes into here, which is where that cleric is. So there's a cleric holed up in room number 9. And I go ahead and say that, the ghouls are starting to eat on the paralyzed ones down here. So when you open this, there's a figure in the room that says, "Back, foul servants of..." Wait, you're not his servants. Who are you? What do you want with me? So there is this cleric right here. And I really love this picture of this cleric right here. There's this cleric in this room who was abandoned by his adventuring party. And according to the rules here, he's not supposed to go anywhere. So he says that he was trapped. He's trapped here. He was abandoned by his party. He was left alone only with this candle, which is creating like a circle of protection. Yeah, the candle creates a circle of protection to fill the room. Gunter and his evil cannot enter here. Even so, I must be vigilant, for if it ever blows out, they will descend upon me. I am not about to leave the protection of my candle. I know not what protects you, but I know what happened to the members of my party when they left. Their spirits were taken from them for betraying me. Now they are lost beings. In the night, late in the night, I hear voices. They speak of Gunter's search for immortality, his love for a beautiful woman named Erica, his order to his undead servants to construct a crypt for him in this very house. Find the crypt, and you will find the reason this ghost still haunts these walls. And he has 3 cure light wound spells, a light spell, and slow poison, and a no alignment spell. He also has a stone of good luck that he will give to one of the heroes, which that the boy did get the stone of luck right there. But he's not supposed to leave the room. But in this case, I let him become an NPC for them because it didn't really make a whole lot of sense for this cleric of good, because like he's running down the stairs, or running down the hall, opens the door and is like, help, my companions are, being eaten by ghouls in another room. I mean, that's not very heroic of the cleric to just be like, oh, well, I can't go anywhere. Good luck with that, basically. So he says, like, why can't you heal yourself? He says that he doesn't use his magic to heal him. It's against his code to heal himself with his magic. Well, okay, then there are 2 people who need healing down the corridor. So I just have him leave. So go with them. So he's like, "Oh, okay, danger here. Let's go help your friends." So because he was also just abandoned by his healing party. So or his adventuring party, is he about to let this guy abandon these guys? I didn't think so. So they go down here to here, and Klaus starts. Klaus, but I ran him as Lordan. I gave them the Lordan card, which is one of the pre-built PCs, and let them kind of roll for him as they come down here. And Lordan, there was only 1 ghoul left, and Lordan turns the ghoul and then heals the party members. I thought there was a lot of healing in this adventure, but I was like, okay, fine, let's just run it like it is. But they needed it all. They really needed it all, especially being, still level 1. They dropped several times and needed healing and whatever. So he turns the ghoul, heals the guys, and then they search in here, and they do find one of the daggers and another potion of healing. Then they come down, and again, skip these rooms that have like the heart in it. Well, and right, Mike says only a lot of healing if they find it in the adventure. And sometimes they did have problems with that where they would forget to look around and forget to search for things. But I believe Lordan / Klaus left that room with one more cure light wounds. They come down and they go up into the kitchen, which really has nothing in it except for some digging tools, which is a hint that somebody's digging out that. And then they go downstairs into the crypt, fight some spiders, and then there's a secret door here on 8. Secret door here that goes into that chamber. And here's where one of the failure conditions here. There are 2 failure conditions. Another thing that I hate is having to roll to find secret doors. So I did look this up. So 2 ghouls, they fought 2 ghouls, they fought 2 zombies. Oh, and then they come down here. So what about those spiders? So the secret, servant's room, number 8. Two large spiders. At 175 each. Okay. You don't see, if the heroes search this area for treasure, they find 2 potions of healing and 2 elixirs of health on the shelves. Remember, the elixir is good for neutralizing poison. Looking for treasure will not reveal the secret door. And it says, important, there is a secret door in this room as shown on the map on the previous page. It is not shown on the player's map, so do not tell them about it. If the heroes found the tools in Area 5, tell them the dirt and mortar of the cellar matches that's found on the tools. I did tell them that. The heroes must find the door by making a successful check for secret doors. 1 check is allowed for each hero searching. The player must say his hero is looking for a secret door. Okay, I think they did that, but then finding a secret door is so difficult. I mean, you have to find this in order to complete the adventure. So I have a huge problem with having the victory condition of the quest, or something that you really need in order to have the quest, hidden behind a secret door that you've got to roll to open, to see if you even notice. Right, let's see, finding secret doors, page 11. And I verified this like as they were getting snacks or something. I was like, wait a minute, don't they have like a 1 in 6 chance of finding a secret door? Finding secret doors. Some doors are cleverly hidden and cannot be seen unless they are specifically searched for. These are referred to as secret doors because they are a secret known only to the DM until the character finds them. Characters have to say they are searching for secret doors in order to find them. They do not accidentally find secret doors. Even when the players say their characters are searching for secret doors in a particular place, the DM rolls a 6-sided die secretly. If the die comes up a 1, the door has been found. Roll once for each character searching. So it's very difficult to find these doors. And then I believe this is true. What you're saying, Mike, doesn't the elf find secret doors as a racial trait? The elf finds it as on the rolls of 2. I believe it's on the back of this card right here. Elves find secret doors twice as easily as humans, 1 or 2 on the D6 roll. But that's still, only a 1/3 chance. So, this might be one of those situations where, like, okay, well, if everybody searches and you have like 8 people in the party, then maybe on average you'll find it. Maybe you still won't. Maybe you still completely will not. But on the other hand, if there are only 3 of them, it's likely that you're not going to find it. And so I'm like, why would you do that? Like, what are you going to do? Have them wandering around this house? It doesn't say, I mean, ordinarily those things are like once per level or something, but you're never going to be out of this if you can't find that secret door. So I just say that they find it. It's got a keyhole in it, and they immediately want to put the key in. Now, maybe at this point, I should have just let them do it. But the problem is, if you don't have the silver, so the next problem is if you don't have the silver heart that they heard about in Erica's room, that you're not going to be able to do the spell thing in the crypt to defeat the wizard. Maybe on the fly, in retrospect, looking at this, I should have come up with something else. On the fly, I was like, okay, wait a minute. I reminded the middle one about the heart that he had heard about with Erica talking. He didn't remember that. And also, it's not particularly clear that from what Erica said, that's another reason I don't really like this, is that, Erica says, they say Gunter's dead, but I don't believe it. I can feel him. He is still with us. I must confess a terrible thing. I stole the silver heart from the hands of his corpse, which lay on the crypt. I know not what it was for, only that it was vital to his dark plan. Oh no, somebody's coming. That doesn't sound like, to me, that you need to go give him that silver heart. That sounds like you need to keep that silver heart away from him at all costs. So actually, if I were playing this and I had found the silver heart, which we don't have because they didn't go into that room yet, I don't think I would have thought, oh, I need to find a silver heart to take with me on something. Maybe if I already had it in my hand, oh, I picked it up and then I find this information about it. But like, you could do this in different orders. So this is another reason why I'm not completely happy with this adventure, because it actually seems to me like I would rewrite this if there's going to be a failure condition. And I think the failure condition would be putting the silver heart into the crypt and letting his magic work. That seems like a failure condition. Don't do that. Don't give him back his silver heart. What should succeed is finding some way in here to dispel the ghost. There needs to be something in here to get rid of the ghost. Then that would win. Let's see. Daniel says the reason he doesn't leave is that he's seen firsthand that his party has had no protection against the big bad guy's magics, and he doesn't trust that whatever protects the players will extend to him, which is true, and it's up to the DM to decide whether or not his face immediately kills the dude on their next meeting, final fight or not. Should he leave the candle's protection? Yeah, I mean, I get it. That's probably true. So we actually know what happens when one of the heroes sees Gunter or is taken. So that would probably happen to Klaus there. But still, it's not very heroic. So Andrew says they should have written a backup way to get into that area if required. Make it a bit harder, like you have to go through some guards. Or exactly, that's what needs to happen. That's what needed to happen. Rolling just to find. I mean, that seems like basic kind of game design philosophy here. That we don't really need these rooms either way, and I really hate they ended up fighting their way through here. The heart was in here. Okay, so you had to go back and get here. That really, this should have wrapped up. The other one wrapped up kind of early. They had the key. He should have put the key in here, and then there should have been something that you could have done in here to actually slay the ghost. That would have worked. Then you could have skipped all of this, and then have the thing that you're not supposed to do is give him the heart back. Like, have him not do that. That would have been also not nearly as long of an adventure, because they happen to do that particular path. I don't really like this room. It has snakes in it. They went and fought these snakes, and I thought there was the sword was in there, but another dagger was in there. So they did go in there and they did get a dagger, but they almost didn't even search in there. Took out the snakes and then left. This room's kind of pointless with some of the like rats in here. So they did kill. I'm going to point out snakes, rats. They did do that. I'll find those XP later. Yeah, Mike says it seems like a poorly designed adventure, but such is the role of the GM to smooth out those types of things. Yeah, and maybe I didn't smooth it out quite as well. Success or failure condition, far better than win or lose. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll get XP for snakes. And XP for a few rats that they've come back. So they came back up here. I skipped having them fight, like by this time, like some like groping hands that the wizard was supposed to conjure. And they take the silver heart, which is here, and then they go down here and into the crypt they go, which was a pretty dramatic battle. I mean, it ended with what I think is a pretty dramatic battle. It rested on the initiative and stuff like that. They had, what is in the secret crypt? There were two. If the players have the heart, the players do not have the heart. There are two more zombies down there. Oh, this says 120 points each. They are worse zombies. 2 zombies at 120 each. They do put the heart into the tomb. He gets out. Gunter, when you do that, the ghost won't come into the crypt. But then when you put the heart in the sarcophagus, it says, Gunter's ghost begins to disappear. What have you done? It's been too long, too long. Stop, I beg you. Then the sarcophagus, because that doesn't sound like he seems like he would want it back. But in this case, he does not want the thing back in the sarcophagus. Then the sarcophagus begins to open, and Gunter, as a juju zombie, says, oh, look what you've done to me. Worms eat my flesh. Maggots eat my veins. This magic was meant to be worked 100 years ago. Not like this. Not now. I am old, and you will die for this. And then they've got to fight Gunter, and he can only be harmed by +1 or better magic items, which makes that a tough fight. but they do figure out that the daggers might be magical. He's 975 experience points. And I also had him skip one of the shadows that were in there. They already fought shadows last time successfully. And there was some kind of trap. And this was going on a bit long because they were going through kind of, rooms that had to come back up and not fight through. I was going to redesign this encounter with the snakes anyway. I mean, it's kind of a weird kind of room anyway, but I never had time. So I wish it had just done something else. So yes, the boys do figure out to use the dagger, and that the +2 sword is down there, which they also find. I kind of clued them in. They might want to look around for stuff as they are looking in there. The cleric died, but the boys got out. They found the +2 sword, and that also helped kill Gunter. And then when he's out, the house allows them out and then vanishes. So that dispelled the magic. So they did that. Some of that probably a little bit of experience points. Let me see what the cellar. Okay, large spider. No, we did that one. Storeroom. I think that once so they killed a few giant rats. Not a big deal. Maybe it was like 3 giant rats for 15. The sunroom, 3 snakes for 175 each. So yes, they decide that. When they realize their weapons are ineffective, they do draw. One of them draws the dagger, and is able to hit with the dagger. And that was another thing that I kind of want them to know faster. I swing, I miss. I swing, I miss. I swing, I hit. Oh no, you missed anyway. Okay, I draw the dagger. I swing, I miss. I wanted that to be found out faster. But they drew the dagger. One of them found the sword that was down there. And then they divvied up the magic items, even though they are not identified yet. So there were some things that were great about this adventure, but also I think that this was actually not a really well-designed adventure. I remember it, one of the ones that I remember playing when I was younger. So that's one of the intentions of running it here. I remember the cleric and the circle of light, all of this stuff that was, the Erica and the silver heart. It's got a great feel to it, being trapped, very classic, being trapped in a haunted house. The wizard and the young love, and he's trying to live forever and all of that. So I mean, a lot of very classic elements to it, but I don't think that in the end it was executed very well. So this was definitely a tough adventure for reasons that it probably didn't have to be, right? So in retrospect, I wish I had gone ahead and let them put the brass key in and then just come up with some way in there to kill the ghost. I did, right? Yeah, Mike says maybe you did this, but due to their ages, you might have to be more direct at times, that you would have to be with older kids or don't. And so I actually did that a couple of times. I pulled the middle one away to like remind him about the the Erica and the silver heart. So yeah, I did do that. I did do that. But like I said, I don't think it would be even clear to me as an adult that when she says, "I stole the silver heart from the hands of his corpse, which lay on the crypt. I know not what it was for, only that it was vital to his dark plan." I don't think if I heard that, I think the last thing I would do is give the silver heart back, right? So we wrapped this up, and they've got quite a bit of treasure on them, unidentified. That one of them found out like, oh, I rolled a 13, and you said I missed, and this person rolled a, when I rolled a 13, he said he hit. They kind of figured out that maybe there were different bonuses on the weapons or something like that. Let's see. Where is my this calculated experience? So yeah, I think in retrospect, I should have redesigned this quest or this adventure. $260, 175 times 2. But it's things you have to find in a certain order are kind of rough outside of stories. I mean, I can see this completely being like a horror kind of short story. But if you can't control when people are going to see stuff, that's a critical component of good adventure design, I think. So 175 and then 45. So this actually may not have been that much XP. Wasn't there something else? Was there something else that gave them a lot? Plus 550 plus 350 plus 525 plus 240 plus 975 plus 45. And we do not divide this among characters. Everybody gets this. 2945. Actually, that's a pretty decent number. That's why I really have to look at the I've never played the dungeon that's in this. I'm gonna have to look at this and see if it's one to go into, because I'm kind of thinking that, okay, if they go out to a dungeon, pick up some more items, then they come back, and that's when the ogre is attacking the village, and maybe they save the village, and then they get a call from Randall Morn to go out to the Dale Lands. But okay, so that's Lord. Okay, here's Beldar. He's being played. Experience points under 2,000. Oh, okay, so that was plenty right there. So they had 1,305, I think it was, experience points. So 1,305. So they are now level 2. So that will help out a bit too. And also, I needed to. We're gonna have to come up with the better death mechanics. I think I may implement Shadow Dark's death mechanics. Because like, what are I didn't have them just automatically die at 0, but they're unconscious since they were able to bring him some potions of healing. But I'm thinking about next time maybe using Shadow Dark's kind of death mechanics. Although I do need some stat modifiers, which I just don't have because it's AD&D. I have felt their absence. I felt that absence. Whether or not they're good or not, like we're talking about, but when you're talking about, you can't just say, okay, you're unconscious and be dead in 1d4 plus your con modifier rounds, because there's no con modifier. So I believe that was 1,305. So they have now the fighter wizard isn't going to level up because he's got to split his between his two levels, to his two character classes rather. So so under 2,000 they are level 1. Under up to 4. Oh, well, actually, that's in that. Look at that. They're supposed to get up to level 3, but they're not supposed to do that. Or like this fighter is anyway. This fighter is up to 4,000 experience points. So he doesn't get all 4,000. He's got to stop at level 2. Yeah, because we definitely have to stop at level 2. What about he doesn't have his experience on there. His fighter experience would be the same thing as Beldar here. So actually what he's got divide that by 2. So the fighter wizard has got 2,125 XP in both classes. So he did cross to level 2 fighter. Here is, well, nope. Here's the wizard. But the wizard is under 2,500. So he is a level 2 fighter, level 1 wizard. Whereas both of the other fighters will be level 2 fighters, but only 1 experience point away from being level 3. So that's pretty good. So yeah, Mike, or Better with Bacon says, Mike M, yeah, I agree with you on rewriting the module. It shouldn't be so ordered as a narrative text is. Get item, take item to place, install item, defeat bad guy. It's way too rigid and assumes that a band of adventurers care enough not to just loot what's left in the manner and attempt to leave after having been locked in. And it is kind of like you can't just beat your way through the, it just says you can't beat your way through the wall or something like that. I mean, you're being magically held in. That part I don't necessarily mind, as kind of just arbitrary, but I don't mind like one arbitrary thing at the beginning that gets that kind of thing kicked off, especially when it's starting that kind of atmosphere that's intended to have. Yeah, and that they're paying enough attention. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I think they did have a good, Mike says, I bet they had a good time. I think they'd have a good time. I think it went on a little bit too long, like just slogging your way through those snakes or something and the rats. If they had gone down and actually defeated the thing more quickly in the cellar, it would have been a better adventure. So that's why but we got the focus. The next focus has got to be Retalion combat. The item cards people love. I need to go through here. So let me just take a look at what this says. But I do like that they've got these items, but they're not identified. See this now. This one doesn't have a map with it either. And I'm also thinking about, oh, no, here's the map here, but they don't actually have a map that you put out. I wonder if I could use some type of other map, and not that I don't have enough to do to actually put out, because I also would like to if we're using the grid, which they're kind of used to during combat, when combat is on, you're in combat time. I'd like for them to be like flanking creatures and things like that. Undermount Dread doesn't have a single person or special thing for the heroes to do or find. Undermount Dread is a dungeon, an old ruin where monsters dwell. Dungeons and other ruins are traditional places of adventure in the AD&D game. Unlike other adventures, Undermount Dread never really has to end. Well, I don't really want that to be the case. Let's see. Yeah, I hope they do want to. I mean, I think they do want to play more. But I'm going to have to focus on that elements of this kind of story, because I think that if we do this, have them go loot something. I need to have some type of magic item for them to go loot. They're going out to this place, which is why they got stopped at this haunted house to get some. They've heard some type of magic item is under here. We might have to look at this one morning. I also really do like this picture too. This is also kind of classic and iconic to me. But it probably needs to be one level. They need to do an adventure where they go into a dungeon, use the dark, use torches and things like that. This is a dark dungeon that you're going in. Try to really get the this one does have hatchling red dragon in it. Oh, well, why not do that? Maybe there's something about some type of dragon that's down here with a bunch of treasure. That would is something that the boys would want to get. This dragon is guarding 1,400 silver pieces, 2,000 gold pieces, 20 gems, a long sword of wounding, a portable hole, and a potion of flying. Maybe I could use all this to put this together into a reasonable adventure for them in a dungeon. Then protect the village from the ogre, then get a call from Randall Morn and go up to do the Sword of the Dales. Yeah, I know. I hear it. Better with Bacon says it's a silly thing because it's to say because it's evident of a weak quest construction. I can beat my way through any other wall except for these because I get that helps the quest, but it rubs me the wrong way. I mean, I agree with that in greater adventure design. Come up with some other way for them, reason for them to be locked in or something. Interesting idea, but like at the point for your second Dungeons and Dragons adventure as a kid, just saying that you were locked in, I don't think is a problem. But it is a fundamentally weak part of the design. Hey, PH. All right. Well, all right. That is all that I've got. Like I said, we are going to have to work on Rabavania. We're going to have to work on cultists and stuff like that, especially now that the second season I've decided to go ahead and release. Hopefully we'll have some good luck with that. If you know anybody who needs to see that trailer, please do that. Please send that to them. The D&D trailer, copy link, because that sounds like something that a lot of people would be interested in. The D&D cultist trailer. Let's share it around, and then if you know someone or other YouTuber or somebody in there who has not seen it and should see that's going on, it seems like something that a lot of people would be interested in as we start to release all these different episodes. We will see. All right, that's the latest thing to try. Like I said, always going on with hope. So yes, oh yeah, and I heard that too. So Better with Bacon says, awesome recap, excited for Crit, which is the free online RPG convention. I'm having BGD on tomorrow afternoon. I'll toss a link in the Discord, and I have to watch that. So yes, so everybody, BGD will be on with Better with Bacon tomorrow afternoon. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah, all of my days are confused now. I won't be able to watch it live. If it's live, I won't be able to watch it live. But I will catch up in the evenings. All right, everybody, have a fantastic day. Let's go get stuff done. Later, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me this morning.